We've driven millions of clicks for our clients over the past couple of years, all through organic search traffic, and that's helped them generate hundreds of thousands of new users and drive millions of dollars worth of new sales pipeline and revenue, all through organic search traffic. This week, we're helping the Boom app, which is a new tool that makes video calls and video meetings more fun and engaging. The team is led by Robleh and Krish, who are experienced Toronto-based founders, and we're here to show them how they can set up their first content cluster so that they generate relevant and hyper-intentful traffic in aims of building a sustainable and profitable SEO campaign. This is week 3 of 52 in our series called How We Would Grow This, where we help companies like Boom put together their first content cluster that'll generate relevant and intentful traffic so that they can build a sustainable and profitable SEO presence. Let's dive in.
How we'd grow this profitably.
Let's take a look at some keywords that you'd focus on, but what we would recommend is focusing on the entire buyer's journey. And the reason for that is because you can build an entire funnel of people that are looking, still exploring the problems that they're facing, people that are aware of solutions, and then more importantly, people that are aware of your solution as well. This way you're able to cultivate an evergreen funnel of traffic that can convert at all stages, because people convert in different ways as well. People that are unaware of their problems are more likely to join your email newsletter list or download a gated content piece. People that are more solution aware are comparing you against competitors are more likely to convert. So that being said, let's dive into the first stage, which is problem unaware. Before we do that, let's take a look at our target persona, who is Alex. They are a 37 years old person who works as a product manager. And at this point, he's wondering, am I doing something wrong or am I just overthinking it? So he's clearly fatigued by the meetings. Let's zoom in over here. He's worried, he's really annoyed by all these virtual meetings. And so he's basically just unaware that he actually has a problem. He's just feeling symptoms and he's trying to do more research to see if he's doing anything wrong. So that being said, let's jump into some of these keywords through Ahrefs. So the first keyword that we're looking at over here is virtual meetings, and this gets a solid 1,000 searches per month at a $3 CPC if you were to pay the Google Ads equivalent. So that means you're generating about $3,000 worth of search traffic on a monthly basis when you rank in the top position. And the top ranking article over here is WebEx. Let's take a look at that. But before we do that, this keyword is not too difficult, so you just need a couple of backlinks pointed to your web page, and then you're able to rank. Of course, there's more factors to this, but this is a simple understanding of the difficulty. So let's take a look at the first page that is ranking, WebEx. So WebEx is obviously put together a solution for virtual meetings, and accordingly, that's why they put together this page as well. And what you would want to do in this page is basically, obviously, like teach somebody what a virtual meeting is, but then also share with them like what are some best practices, what are some tips, tricks, how to improve it. This is an obvious way for you to include your product as a solution for virtual meetings as well. Like you can tell them that they're using Zoom, Google Meets, etc. But on top of that, why they need to use the Boom app to make their meetings actually engaging. So the next keyword is a little bit more up there. It's a little bit more for somebody that's just trying to see like the best practices again. 300 search volume, relatively easy to rank for. 6 cents CPC, obviously because this isn't really conducive to conversions. It's more so for somebody that's just looking for information. So it's about $18 worth of search traffic on a monthly basis. Not amazing, but if you're able to retarget this traffic or get them into your email list, you can convert the people into users as well. So the first page that's ranking is ClickUp. They've got a page basically showing like the top 10 virtual meeting etiquette rules. So same thing that you would do, this is something called skyscraper SEO. So what you would do is you would not only cover 10, you'd cover something like 15 to 20 top virtual meeting etiquette rules, but then you'd also include your solution as a bonus tip. Use Boom to get actual engagement in your meetings. So the next keyword is virtual presentation. This is similar to this other keyword, virtual meetings, where they're just trying to see like the best practices for virtual presentations. This has about $450 worth of search traffic on a monthly basis with that $1.50 CPC. Once again, relatively easy to rank for. And you're basically competing against Forbes, who has, in my opinion, a horrible user experience. You've got this page cluttered with ads, another ad. This is just horrible. It's not really a good experience, but you'd pretty much want to do the same thing, like put together a list of the top 16 to 20 expert tips for virtual presentations, obviously including Boom app as like one of the bonus tips, or include that at the start as well. So it's a good place to get in front of people that are just looking to like be the best in virtual presentations. That's why it could be a good keyword for somebody that's problem unaware. The next keyword is virtual meeting best practices. This is really similar, but the key thing over here is that Harvard Business Review is ranking for this. So obviously, like they are able to share with their audience, like who are typically business people, how to lead better virtual meetings. It's a dollar CPC, so that's about $70 worth of search traffic on a monthly basis. Easy to rank for. So you could do you would be able to do the same thing as well over here. It's how to lead better virtual meetings. So you just give tips and tricks about how to do that, and obviously including Boom app as one of the tips and tricks on how to do so. So going back to stage one, problem unaware, what's happening at this point, once again, is like Alex is just researching very high level keywords. He's just trying to get an understanding of the space, trying to see if he has symptoms so that he can do further research and see if it's worthwhile to see if this is actually a problem worth solving for him. All right, so we're back with our friend Alex, and at this point, he knows that there is a problem, but he's just not sure if there's a solution yet. So at this point, he's basically comforted by the fact that other people have these issues as well, and he's trying to see what they're doing, how they're solving for these problems as well. So let's take a look at some of these keywords. Let's dive in. So the first one being collaboration tools for virtual teams. It's got about 100 search volume per month and $5 CPC. That means about $500 worth of search traffic on a monthly basis. Relatively easy to rank for as well. And you'll see a page like this from a university that's showing the top 10 collaboration tools to boost productivity and engagement. You'll want to do something similar over here, but instead of 10, obviously, you want to do like something like 12 to 20 virtual collaboration tools and include Boom app as one of them and showcase why and how Boom aids to productivity and engagement, especially in, virtual meetings, and cover that like the meeting fatigue or the Zoom fatigue, because that's the key angle in getting your point across over here. The next keyword over here is Zoom interactive features. So this is something that somebody would be searching just to see if they can somehow make Zoom a little bit more interactive, right? Like they know that Zoom is not interactive, and they're basically trying to improve that experience. So this would be a great customer for Boom. 60 search visitors per month, and obviously the first ranking post is Zoom. So they've got 21 features to enhance your Zoom workplace experience. So you can not only take these 21, but you can also potentially take other apps that people are building to enhance the Zoom experience. So maybe make this like 25, and then obviously include yours as well. And you'd want to show how all of those Zoom workplace experiences, while they will help in making it more productive experience, they're just not the best at engagement, and that's why people need to download or use Boom app in order to get that engagement for their meetings. So the next keyword over is how to make the virtual meetings more interactive. 50 search volume per month, $1.20 CPC. That means $60 worth of search traffic on a monthly basis. Relatively easy to rank for. And you've got another like workplace solution. This isn't something that you would compete with, but they are also targeting professionals. That's why they've written a post about this. But you'd basically want to write a guide on how to make the meetings more interactive, fun, and engaging. And this is your target audience. Like if there could be a target audience, that's perfect. This would be it. It's surprising that the CPC is not that high yet. But obviously, if you rank for this, this is like direct. This is who you want to get in front of. And you'd write a guide on how to do that, but then really showcase and highlight why they need to use Boom app to make it interactive, fun, and engaging. Okay, the next keyword is Zoom fatigue remedies. So this is a great keyword because at this point they have identified the fact that Zoom causes fatigue. 80 search visitors per month with an 18 difficulty, so it's not too difficult to rank for. And the top ranking post is this Harvard University resource, and they're talking about minimizing Zoom fatigue. So you see this boring picture over here. You'd basically have your, I mean, this is a great way to advertise Boom, right? You'd showcase how you can make these squares pop off a little bit more, similar to what you've shown on your homepage as well. Okay, the next keyword is something similar. It's meeting fatigue. So 200 search visitors per month, relatively easy to rank for. Similar to Zoom fatigue, this is just meeting fatigue, right? So this could be in person or from home, but very well likely a good portion of these people are working from home because that's becoming the norm these days. So say you're competing with Forbes, which has a horrible user experience. They've got ads everywhere. So you can take the topical leadership over here and cover what meeting fatigue is and how to fix it and how Boom app specifically helps address it. Same thing that you're doing with this post as well. Now I've got a bonus keyword. I didn't include this in the keyword plan over here because it is going to be more difficult to rank for. But if you are somehow able to rank for Zoom fatigue, and we typically call these kind of keywords moonshots because it's difficult to rank for. But once you are ranking for it, take a look at the search volume. It's about 1,600 visitors per month. And there's even a category for this on Wikipedia. So that proves the fact that, there is a pain over here. The fact that Wikipedia's got an entire cluster of content written around this topic. So you're doing the same thing over here, right? Like you're doing topical authority. You're just covering what is Zoom fatigue, how to address it, and why Boom app is the best solution for addressing it as well. Okay, so now our friend is looking a little bit more relaxed as compared to before. You see over here, he's kind of stressed. He's kind of wondering what's happening. So now our friend Alex is looking a little bit more relaxed. He's thinking he's finally got a solution, and he's really excited to use one of these solutions that he's researching. So at this point, he's aware of his problem, and he's just trying to find out how to solve it. So he's a little bit more relaxed than before. So let's take a look at some of these keywords and how you'd address them. So the first one is cool Zoom backgrounds. It's relevant to your company. It may not have the highest intent, but it is hyper relevant because at this point somebody is trying to make their Zoom presence a little bit more engaging. So it's got about a $2 CPC, 1,900 search volume per month. That puts it about a $3,800 USD worth of search traffic on a monthly basis. This may be a little bit more difficult to rank for, but if you've got the right backlink profile, then you can rank for this with ease. See, this is the top host that you're competing against, right? Like, so this is somebody that's put together a list of the top 35 best Zoom backgrounds. So you'd want to do basically 36 to 45, something like that, Zoom backgrounds, but then highlight why the Zoom background is one thing, but if you actually need an app like Boom in order to make it really engaging and exciting during the meeting. The next keyword is virtual meeting platforms. So this gets about 800 searches per month at a $9 CPC. That's crazy. It gets about 7,200 USD worth of search volume on a monthly basis. And a post like this is where somebody is basically trying to find a solution for their problem, right? So the five best virtual meeting platforms. So this is very well likely like they're showing Zoom, Switchboard, etc. So at this point, you can showcase these solutions, but then you need to show the buyer at this in this post why they actually need to also use Boom app on top of these virtual meeting platforms. In that these virtual meeting platforms are kind of boring, they're unengaging, and you need that extra add-on in order to make it pop and exciting. Okay, this next keyword doesn't get a lot of search volume for the core keyword, but it's got about 80 search potential. That means that this page that's ranking at the top, same company over here, Switchboard, they're actually generating about 80 search visitors per month to this post. Obviously, this is an approximation. It may in reality be higher because Ahrefs is just guessing at this point. But even if you just take the core 40 search volume at $4 CPC, that's about 160 US dollars worth of search traffic on a monthly basis, and it's relatively easy to rank for as well. So these are the 5 fun virtual meeting platforms. So they've basically done the same exact thing. They're copying this post, and very well likely they put switchboard at the top. Let's take a look. Yeah, I mean, this graphic is the same as well. Yeah, switchboards at the top. So you'd want to do the same thing. Like, as fun as these virtual platforms apparently are, you actually do need Boom app in order to make the meeting pop. Okay, the next keyword is virtual meeting tools. This is very similar, slightly different search intent because this person may be using for a virtual call, maybe for a meeting, whatever it may be. 100 search volume, $9 CPC. That means $900 US dollars worth of search traffic on a monthly basis, and it's relatively easy to rank for. So the number one post is doing something similar to what Switchboard did. They've got the 14 best virtual meeting tools, and then they're highlighting like Zoom, etc. So same angle that you want to take over here is that, as good as these virtual meeting tools are, you actually do need a tool like Boom in order to make the meeting pop. And let's take a look at what these guys do. So it's easier way to design workshops. Okay, interesting. So they're just trying to get in front of their target persona, it seems like, even though this doesn't really have a lot of intent for their solution. Okay, next keyword, interacting meeting tools. So this is pretty much the kind of person that you would want to get in front of. $3 CPC puts it at about 240 US dollars worth of search traffic, relatively easy to rank for. Let's take a look at their post. So they basically just put a list of the top best online meeting engagement tools, which is interesting because they don't really have a lot of content over here. So what that means is that if you do put together a good post, you can very well likely outrank this page. And the best online meeting engagement tools, like this is pretty much the target audience that you're going after at this point. Like the people that you're looking for are looking to make their meetings more engaging. So you just take this and you make this like 10 to 15. Obviously, you put Boom right at the top, make it for 2024, and boom, you've got right in front of your target audience. So in stage 4 of the buyer's journey, our friend Alex is aware of the solutions that exist in the market, and he's basically trying to make a decision and see which tool will work best for him. So he's wondering questions like what other options are there, and he's just taking one last look for tools in one last ditch effort to make sure that he makes the right decision for the tool that he's going to go forward with. So let's take a look at some of these keywords. The first one is really exciting because it gets a ton of search volume. OBS alternatives at $1.50 CPC. That puts it about $300 worth of search traffic on a monthly basis. Relatively easy to rank for as well. You can ignore the top ranking post Reddit because Google is currently overhauling their search rankings as well, and Reddit is being pushed further down. So let's go down and let's take a look at some of the posts that are live. So 10 best OBS alternatives for video creators. So OBS is obviously a competitor to this open source OBS, and so they put together this post, and surprise, surprise, they will likely have Riverside as the number one position. So you can very well likely do the same thing. So your angle over here is for creators or for live streamers, how using Boom app would actually make it a little bit more engaging than any one of these other solutions. The next keyword over is butter video conferencing. And like going back to the solution aware, what you're basically trying to do is get in front of your target competitors, prospects, when they're doing one last ditch effort of research on them, just to try to get in front of them. And this is typically why you'll see people, bidding on AdWords. So for example, Boom app versus or etc. So they're just basically trying to get in front of your target audience in one last ditch effort and steal the prospects. So this keyword butter video conferencing, so got about 20 search volume on a monthly basis. It says it's easy, but don't be fooled, it's actually not. What you'll basically want to do over here is do something similar to what G2 has done. And that's typically why like these G2 type pages convert really well, or they're really bottom of funnel, right? Because what they're doing is they're combining and they're aggregating the reviews in one area, and they're giving first person perspective of what it's like to use the tool. So you can do the same thing. You can do like what are reviews, butter reviews, and an extra tool that you can potentially use. An angle like that would work well over here. Same thing happening over here, sessions video conferencing, so it's actually not easy to rank for. but once again, you're just trying to get in front of your competitor's audience one last time. So same thing over here is happening. They've got G2 over here. So you'd want to do like reviews of sessions video conferencing and one surprise tool that you'll want to consider. So it's kind of clickbaity, but that's what you're aiming for. You're just getting in front of your audience, one last ditch effort. Sessions versus Zoom is a little bit more interesting. 20 search volume per month, not a whole lot. Relatively easy to rank for. G2 is obviously they own bottom of funnel most of the times, but you can also very well likely rank over here. So for example, this looks like it's a blog post. Somebody has just written their opinion on the Sessions versus Zoom, which video conferencing platform is better, but it's cluttered with ads, so that means it's a horrible UX, and you can very well likely do a better job of writing better content, A, and then B, showcasing Boom app to this target audience because this person is basically looking for the best of the best when it comes to video calling. The next one is app. So the same pattern repeats. Like it's not going to be really easy to rank for, but you've also got like these people like this person who's written like the secret to you connecting with audiences using. So you can do the same thing, like how people are using to connect with audiences, but then you'd also want to add that angle of what Boom and how Boom differentiates against. This one is a little bit of a moonshot because it's relatively difficult to rank for. Not a whole lot of search volume, but you're doing something similar over here. You're just getting in front of the audience, one last ditch effort. So they have got like these YouTube pages. They've also got this article from The Verge, which is just talking about like what the Camo app is. So you can just say like what your angle over here could be, what is re-incubate Camo and how to use it. But then your angle would be why Boom app is a lot better than this competitor solution. Okay, so this is the final stage of the buyer's journey, and at this point, our friend Alex has discovered Boom, and he's just trying to put some last-second compares against competitors to see if and how Boom is better. So you might notice, actually, if I zoom in over here, he's actually getting younger. So if I zoom up, if I go up at Solution Aware, at this point, he's still looking at the competitors, OBS, Butter, etc. He's still got some wrinkles over here, so he's a little bit older. But as he discovers Boom, he actually gets younger, which is cool. But taking a look at some of the keywords over here, it's basically Boom app versus Butter versus Sessions. And typically, when a company is starting out, you won't have a lot of search volume over here, if any. Like it may be 10 search visitors per month or less. But these are good posts to put together, specifically to use for PPC campaigns. Like you could use this in Google search. So you could, for example, if I search over here, so they're clearly owning their brand name, but if you put a little bit more in your budget, like you have a higher CPC against them, you could have a post like, using Boom app versus and this is a great way to get in front of the their target audience when they're basically looking to make a purchase. So one thing I will mention is that, while there is lower search volume over here, you can use it once again for those Google search ad campaigns, but it's also a good article to put together in anticipation of you building your brand awareness and brand presence in the market. This is typically what this kind of post would look like. So for example, Root Excel versus Circuit, and they're basically just going through the post, and they've got a ton of CTAs like sign up for free trial, with Circuit for Teams. That's their product landing page. They've got product screenshots, pricing. So essentially, they're just showcasing why they are better, and they've got tons of CTAs in the way as well to help the people convert better as well. Okay, so now that we've covered all the different stages and all the different keywords that you'd address at each stage, let's zoom out a little bit and let's take a look at what the big picture looks like for all of these different stages, given the keyword volume that you're looking at. So about 20 keywords over here that we're targeting, and you're looking at about 5,500 search visitors per month. So that's really important to keep in mind. because in the next section we'll be looking at the ROI that you can expect when you are able to rank for these keywords as well. Okay, so let's take a look at how the ROI figures shape out. But before we do that, let's remember that we're targeting about 5,500 search visitors on a monthly basis. So that being said, let's take a look at our simple content ROI calculator. We've got three different scenarios, one being email subscribers to close business, one being leads to close, meaning they convert on the first visit, and then the third one being trial to paying user, meaning they sign up as a free user and then they end up converting later. Once their trial period finishes. So working backwards from the first scenario where you've got visitors but they're not converting to users or free trials, rather than letting them bounce off the page, you'd rather get them on your email list so that you can nurture them and convert them over time. So given the numbers that we know, if your annual revenue per user is about 180 US dollars, with an email subscriber conversion rate of about 20% over the lifetime, that means that the average annual value of a lead is about $36. When you factor in the content marketing monthly cost, which we cost about $1,500 per month, that means that you just need about 41 leads per month in order to get that 1-year payback, and then it's profitable from there. But obviously, like, your real numbers will be significantly higher. And let's take a look at that through this list below. So if you've got a conversion rate of visitor to email list of about 1%, which we typically see higher than this, but these are just conservative numbers. So at about 1% conversion rate, you just need 4,000 visitors per month. For a 2.5% conversion rate, you need about 1,600 visitors per month. And let's remember that in the first month of content, you're just targeting 5,500 visitors in the first month alone. So taking a look at lead to close, meaning the person converts on their first visit. So if you've got a hypothetical 15% conversion rate from lead to visitor, that puts the average annual value of a lead at $2,700. So the content marketing monthly cost, $1,500. That means you need about 55 leads per month. And reverse engineering the conversion rate, so blog visit to user at about 0.15, you need about 37,000 visitors per month. At 0.75, you need about 7,400 visitors per month. So the final scenario is looking at trial user to paying user. So if you're charging $15 per month, that puts us at an average annual value of about $180. The trial to close rate at about 30%, you're looking at an average annual value per lead of about $5,400. That means you need about 27.8 leads per month in order to see that 1-year payback. Conservatively, if you've got about a 0.1% conversion rate from blog through trial through paying user, then you need about 27,000 visitors per month. But if your conversion rate's better, then you've got a 1.5% conversion rate. You only really need 1,800 visitors per month. That wraps up week 3 of 52, where we show Boom app how they can grow their SEO program, and they can take advantage of all the keywords and research that we put together and put together their first content cluster so that they can generate relevant and intentful traffic for their business. If you're curious, if you're watching this video, you can click on this link to view the keywords that we put together. You can run them through your own keyword research tool as well. If you would like for us to validate SEO for you, and this is a message to the Boom team as well, if you'd like for us to validate the SEO for your company, you can take part in our trial program where we put together 30 SEO blog articles in 30 days for $300. We only take on 3 new clients for the Validate program per month, and we've only got 2 clients left for June. If you would like your company to be featured in our series on how we would grow SEO for your company, please send us a DM, email, or get in touch with us through our website, and we'd love to have you take part in our program.